This is a non-partisan issue. It doesn't matter if you are from the Jamaica Labour Party or the People's National Party. You have to recognize that the Speaker of the House, being the Prime Minister's wife, is a conflict of interest. The reason for that is the Speaker of the House is the most powerful person in Parliament behind the Prime Minister. She is the Speaker for the majority political party in the House. That in its own is one of the most powerful jobs in the House. The role of the Speaker is to bring agendas to the floor, agendas that to be voted on, discussed. She also is responsible to keep order in the house. This means she is responsible for allowing people to speak and allowing who can address the floor of the house. She's responsible for what matter is to be debated on, to be voted on. Matter of business that is important to the country, which is important to laws, which is important to a whole variety of business that can affect the country. So she being in this position, one can look at that and says it's a conflict of interest. Of course, she is a prominent, elected political leader in her own right. And I don't think anyone is taking that away from her. But the fact that she has such a close relationship with the prime minister, that makes it a conflict of interest. And the fact that she, as a human being, can be exposed to bias. We're not saying she is, and we're not saying there's any evidence that she has done that. We're not saying her integrity is in dispute, but what we're saying is for the democracy and for transparency to see what agendas are voted on, brought to the floor. It is best for the prime minister's wife to not be the speaker of the house. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, says he has concerns of matters in regards to businesses that were not brought to the floor in time. That's what he says. So he has concerns. And if that's the case, then that is a credible concern. It is a credible concern. It just doesn't look right for the two most powerful people in parliament is to be husband and wife. Again, we understand that Miss Juliet Holness is a respectable elected leader in her own right. But because she is the prime minister's wife, that cause, that is a cause for concern. In a democracy, we need somebody who, despite they may part of the majority leader, majority of the house, they still have some kind of um, independence away from the prime minister. But for the prime minister and his wife to go home and live in the same house, sleep in the same bed, and then they're controlling the businesses of the country, that does not look right. And I would say, for in the interest of transparency, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness should bring this matter back to the floor and allow it to be, de- debated on, since there is a clear concern. I understand that people says it was brought to the floor and that some People's National Party members had voted to confirm her, but maybe it shouldn't have brought to the floor in the first place, that they have to make a decision on whether they should um, vote for her or not. So, for the best interest of democracy and transparency, Prime Minister Andrew Holness should make the decision to choose somebody else as the Speaker of the House.